There's this trend going in the UK right now about Canada relocation. Whenever I speak to some students, I speak to some nurses, especially with this new law of Novio Scotia bringing out or making it easy for nurses to migrate to Canada. If you haven't watched that video, we've done it, so you can go ahead and have a look at it. They'll be like, it's Canada that is the way. Oh, well, today I've decided to do a video on UK versus Canada. We need to know and compare, because it's not just to say you want to come to Canada, you want to go to Canada. We need to break it down. I won't say I'm an authority, but I have friends living in Canada and we've been discussing about this. We've even battled on it online. So with their opinion and all that, we've decided to talk about it and break it down. So if you have your own opinion, you can also put it in the comment section so that we can iron it out together, and then other people can learn and make an informed decision if they still want to relocate from UK to Canada or relocate from their own country to Canada. My name is Stella, and in this channel we talk about relocation and anything about life abroad in general. Now let's get started. Welcome to the Express channel. If you are new to this channel, my name is Stella, and I said I will speak of it. So to apply for this discount, now make the difference and similarities between Welcome back, guys. So we're going to be comparing these two countries using several sectors. So starting from diversity now, according to statistics that was done, it says that this now is in 2021, when all this immigration stuff hasn't even been so increased like it is now. It says that 18% of people in the UK are from other countries. And then if you compare the statistics in Canada, it says that 16% in 2021 are from other countries. So it's no longer news that wherever you go to in the UK, you must either see an Asian. I mean, Birmingham is full of Asian people. If you go to London, like, it's so mixed. At times you'll be wondering, like, oh, for those that are from Nigeria, you'll be wondering, am I still in Lagos or am I in London? So looking at these statistics, and also from what you have been hearing from other people and research being done, it's obvious that the UK wins this round. So in terms of diversity, the UK has it. Let's talk about weather. So let's not just hear from me, let's hear from Quora. Quora is like an app where people from different parts of the world brings their own opinion. So this is what was being said based on a discussion while they were comparing UK against Canada. So it's being said that the UK has less extreme weather, no bitter cold like Canada, and no scorching heat like Canada. The UK's weather might be a bit boring, but it means that it's never seriously impractical to go outside. The UK is on average more overcast than Canada, but it receives less overall rainfall than Canada. So you yourself be the judge of this. Who wins this round? Is definitely what the UK. Because why? In terms of heat, in terms of cold, in terms of rainfall, Canada is worse than the UK. So if you know that you are somebody that can't tolerate having different type of extreme mood swings, there is mood swing, but there are different levels. We have the extreme one and the moderate one. So if you know you can't bear the extreme mood swings of the weather, then I think UK is the one for you. Guys, if you have watched this far, try to subscribe to our channel so that you can get more updates about videos like this and be one of the ones to be notified. So hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification bell, and click that subscribe button. So now let's talk about the visa process. In fact, everyone is going to agree with me that when it comes to visa, we're talking about fast though. Canada, yes, they have good immigration rules and good immigration process, but when it comes to being very fast, this I'm going to speak from personal experience now. When it comes to being very fast, Canada, you can be on Canada application for more than a year. Like, I don't know, it's like as if you are applying to be the president of the country or win a lottery. But when it comes to being fast, the UK is very fast. Like, if you want to come to the UK using a student visa now, within 6 months you can arrive in the UK. Within 1 year, for those that are coming through work visa, you can arrive in the UK. If you are coming through global talent visa, you've gotten your endorsement, within 6 to a year you can arrive in the UK. But Canada really takes a long time. So again, the UK wins this round, and that makes it for 3-0. So let's talk about citizenship. For the UK, for you to get citizenship depends on which visa you are on. So let's say you're on a skilled worker visa, you have to stay in the UK for 5 years. If you're on a global talent visa, you have to stay for either 3 to 5 years depending on the type you are being given. If you come in as a student, let's say after your first 2 years as a student, then you apply for a skilled worker visa. If you get immediately, if you don't get immediately, you might apply for a post-study visa. After your post-study visa, you will still need to apply for a skilled worker visa. Now it starts counting from when you have that skilled worker visa. So if you want to use the route of after your student visa, then you apply for your post-study, your skilled worker visa. Your skilled worker visa is still 5 years, so a total of 7 years before you get your indefinite leave to remain, which is your permanent residency. Now that permanent residency or your ILR, you need to hold it for a period of a year before you can then apply for citizenship. So if you come in as a student, let's say roughly about 8 years before you can get UK citizenship, or 8 to 9 years. But if you come in on a skilled worker visa or health and care worker visa, you can get your citizenship after getting your ILR for, let's say, for a period of 6 years, because 5 years you will get your ILR, and after 1 year you get your citizenship. If you come in as a global talent visa, it also varies, either 4 to 6 years as well. So that is for UK. Now for Canada, do you know that even before coming to Canada, you can get your permanent residency? That is, you can get your permanent residency even before coming to Canada, through, especially if you apply through the express entry route, you can get your permanent residency. If you come in as a student, you can immediately apply for a post work visa, or you can even apply for your PR within that 1 year of being as a student in Canada. And then after even getting your PR, then with that PR you can use to do a lot of things in Canada. Then you need to stay in Canada for at least a period of 3 years before you can get your citizenship. So if you look at it, a total of 3 years. Now while you're on a student visa in Canada, that counts as year 1. Unlike UK, whether you're on 2 years old or 3 years student visa, they don't count it as anything. The moment you switch to a skilled worker visa, it counts, that's where you start counting. But for Canada, while you are on your student visa, it counts as year 1. Then let's say you transfer into, let's say, a skilled worker visa, or a skilled, because Canada have a skilled worker visa, you transfer into a skilled work visa, that counts as year 2, year 3, and then you have your PR within that period. The moment you have your PR and you've been in Canada for 3 good years, you can apply for your citizenship. So on this note, Canada wins this round. Canada citizenship is straightforward and easier. So let's say you want to get citizenship quickly, that's your interest, then I feel you should go to Canada. And if you know you can wait for a long time for the visa processing, or instead you can come to the UK, which is faster if your goal is to leave your country immediately, if that is your goal. So depends on what your goal is. So if your goal is you want to leave your country immediately, now you should try the UK. If your goal is, you want to just you are looking for the one that will give you citizenship quickly, you can decide to wait for 2 years while applying for Canada, or a year while applying for express entry. Depends on you. Or instead you can come to the UK first, and then from the UK apply for Canada and you move to Canada. But overall, the bottom line is, if you leave your country, or if you live, let's say a developing country, or let me use Nigeria, and if you live there and in search for greener pastures in this other developed world, you have more better chances, because they have different opportunities which you can exploit and which you can use, and which will be beneficial not just only for you but for your future children. So you make your decision in this round. But for all I know, Canada win this round. Let's talk about jobs. I just want you guys to know that when it comes to job, it varies. So why some particular jobs have more advantage, whereby you don't need any degree in order to work in those fields, some you need to have experience in these countries in order to work there. So starting from UK, when you come to the UK, within 1 to 2 or 3 months you can start work in these various fields. Let's say as a healthcare assistant, or as a support worker, or working as a factory worker, sales representative in some of all these sales shop, or let's say you're working in a restaurant. In this kind of field, you can easily get jobs. But when you have to work in some particular field, you might need just a bit of brush up, or you just need a bit of certification for you to get jobs in this field. Then in comparing this to Canada, it's same thing as well. When you want to get all these menial jobs, or we call it low income jobs, it's easier to get them without having much degree or going to a school. But when you want to get some form of high paying jobs, you will need to have experience, or Canadian experience. I've had different people saying that oh, when you apply for various jobs, they'll be specifying for that Canadian experience. So while you're a student, you can either volunteer to have some experience in this field in order to give yourself a boost. So for me, I would say in terms of this, both of them have equal share. If you have a contrary opinion, you can put that in the comment section. Let's say you live in these various countries, so that people can hear your own side of the story, or you've lived in these two countries, people can hear it from you and make their own informed choice. But to me, I would give the UK and Canada equal share, so 1-1. Okay, let's talk about public funds. So in terms of public fund, immigrants are not entitled to public fund in both countries. So both of them have 1 point. But then if you look at the education aspect, although there's a popular saying that the UK don't have so much scholarships in the UK, but we have the Commonwealth Scholarship. And another thing the UK do is they try to reduce the fee. So let's say your school fees is like 10,000, they might decide to take 50% of it, or they might decide to pay for the whole school fees, or they might decide to give you some packages whereby you can pay half this year and pay half next year, or they give you a reduced fee. Well, why Canada? What they do is you have a full scholarship most of the time. So in terms of education, I feel like Canada has an upper hand where, as compared to the UK, whereby Canada, you can even pay for you to upgrade your courses. Let's say, at times when you come to Canada, you don't have some experiences, and you might want to do some top-up program in order to get some kind of jobs. So if you look at some programs in Canada, they actually pay for you to do this top-up program. So once they've paid for you to do this top-up program, you can then apply for these jobs and get the job. So somehow I would say Canada has more scholarship and is more scholarship friendly than the UK. So Canada wins this round. Talk about child benefits and maternity leave. So it's been said that for Canada, when your child is born in Canada, you get automatic, or your child gets automatic citizenship. That's what is being said. Whereas in the UK, when your child is being born and you are not, let's say you don't have ILR, or you're not a citizen, well, your child does not get automatic citizenship. Your child will still need to stay in the UK for like 5 to 7 years before they get their citizenship. So Canada definitely wins this round. Also, in terms of maternity pay or maternity leave, both countries actually give maternity leave. It's just that when it comes to the UK, although they pay you for your maternity leave, but they pay you for your first 9 months. The remaining 3 months, so the thing is, they give you a year of maternity leave, but for your first 9 months they pay you, while the remaining 3 months you are not being paid for your maternity leave. Whereas in Canada, you are being given 1 year. You can even take up to 18 months if you like, and they pay you for the full maternity leave. So because of this, I feel like Canada also wins this round. Guys, after looking at this comparison, you can now make your choice. Is it the Canada or is it the UK? If you ask me, I have my own personal reasons why I won't move to Canada anyway. I just feel like it's a good country. It gives opportunity to people, but I don't know. I just like to feel closer to home. If you are like me, then you can make your choice. But if after looking at this comparison and you feel like it's Canada that is for me, you can go. And also, I don't like the cold. Even the UK code is actually too much for me, let alone saying I want to go to Canada and all that. But if you want to go to Canada, there are so many opportunities. The thing is, there are opportunities everywhere. There's opportunity in the UK. I know lots of people that are doing very, 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 very well in the UK. I also know people that are doing very, very well in Canada. It's not about where you are, it's your determination to actually make it. So wherever you are, just try to ensure that you are making good use of it. So thank you for watching our video. I am going to see you in the next video. My name still remains Stella, and bye for now.